What's up? What's up? What's up, fam? How's it going? Let me get everything set up here. There we go. Thank you, boys. How we doing? My bad. I didn't realize the mic was muted. That's why I need you guys in the chat. That's why I need you guys active. I was just talking to myself, huh? Okay, cool. All right. Anyways, what I was saying, what's up, boys? What's up, family? Hope you guys are well. Welcome back to another live stream. I'm just getting everything situated and set up so we don't have any issues. The stream was a bit laggy yesterday, so I want to make sure that everything's situated, good to go, and we can have a solid live stream. In the meantime, if you guys have any questions or anything that you want me to cover in this stream, feel free to ask me, and whatever the case may be. But give me about literally 1 minute or so, and we'll go ahead and hop right in to this trade recap. And then we'll also do some analysis going into tomorrow. And then, per usual, I will be in the Discord tomorrow doing some pre-market analysis with you guys. So I expect to see you all there as well. So give me 1 moment. Got the chart set up. My phone's at 1%, but it's okay. It happens. I'm going to go ahead and keep this video uploaded after the live stream as well, just so, the people that missed it, or if you guys want to come back and watch this video for any type of analysis or recap that I may do, feel free to come back and watch this. But no worries. I'm glad you guys are even popping in. Okay, cool. In the meantime, let me know if there are any issues with the microphones, any issues with anything else. I'll be reading chat, and then of course, if you guys have any questions, let me know. I will go ahead and answer those as well. But I'm gonna go ahead and start with this beautiful 400% plus trade that was taken this morning. The zone was actually created within the pre-market analysis that I obviously did. And one special thing about this zone, or one, big pointer about this zone that I honestly like the most and that stood out to me the most, is that the same 400% trade that I had caught yesterday actually moved or dumped from this exact zone. And I want to show you guys that move that I'm exactly talking about. So if I were to, let me see. So it was this right here. So it was actually a complete different one. I'm sorry, I lied on that one, to be honest. But the supply zone that I was talking about was this supply zone that was drawn up here. This was drawn out in the pre-market analysis as well yesterday. You can see pretty much this was the 1 minute mixed with the 5 minute supply zone. Pretty much as price tapped into that supply zone, sellers were ultimately just strong and really just pushed price down from there. I didn't enter around this area. You guys can obviously see I entered down here. Reason for that was because I was in another trade at this time, as price was pretty much tapping into this supply zone. So I liked this zone. I just didn't get an opportunity to enter within this zone. But I did know, and I did have the understanding that this zone was likely to present a high amount of supply or excessive selling pressure than being inputted within the charts, right? I had that in mind. So as I saw that zone obviously working out how I expected it to, that gave me the confirmation that those sellers were in charge, right? Those sellers were really active. And that's ultimately what I wanted to trade with. I saw that there was heavy selling pressure, and obviously I traded with that selling pressure. I entered right here. My main target was right here, but after my main target, I let my runners run, and the runners were ultimately what caught the 400%. You guys can see after price hit my take profit, we just continued making lower lows, and price just continued to move further and further and further all the way to the downside. But what I did want to show you guys is, you can obviously see, since there is such high supply in this area, or such high selling pressure within this area, that's obviously, we want to trade with that, right? Or we want to trade where that high supply or high selling pressure is. So that's pretty much exactly what I did today, or exactly what I did going into today's pre-market analysis. I saw all of this supply, all of this excessive supply, right? And I wanted to trade with it. I wanted to trade with the high amounts of selling pressure or buying pressure, whatever the case may be, because I knew that that was going to ultimately give me the volatility and momentum that I needed in my trade. So you can see all of this supply, and then this zone right here was the exact zone that I actually took my entry with. 1 minute supply zone mixed with the 5 minute supply zone. Very simple, very beautiful. Wasn't in drawdown at all for this trade. You can see pretty much the second we tapped into that 1 minute supply zone as well. Price did hold up that zone as well, which also was a solid confirmation for me. We didn't instantly dump, which obviously makes sense. That's obviously the stage or phase of distribution where those sellers can't fill their positions all at once, so they obviously need to gradually offload their positions or gradually add to their sell positions. And obviously once they have their complete position built up or their complete position exited, that's obviously what's going to cause the volatility. And that's why we had that sideways trading movement, and then we had the strong push down, obviously indicating that yes, those sellers were active, and those sellers did indeed take advantage of this supply area / supply zone. And you can see pretty much ever since we tapped into that zone, price pretty much just dumped and dumped and dumped. Lower lows continue to be made. Lower highs, mainly lower lows, obviously, were being continued to be made. And for this trade, ultimately, my main profit target was this demand zone all the way down here. I really just saw how strong sellers were, and I saw that there was really no major key level in my way other than this demand zone. So obviously, I had this demand zone as my main exit level. But for most of my trades, as you guys know, when it hits my full profit targets, I exit about like 80%, 90% of my position, and then I always keep my runners running just in case that trade does want to continue moving in my direction, obviously, so I don't miss out on any potential profits. And obviously, I'm still always having my stop losses in place, whatever the case may be. But in this case scenario, you can see price really just dumped and dumped and dumped and dumped, especially from this supply zone slash area that we had the idea that high amounts of selling pressure was then going to be inputted. So that's exactly why we utilize supply and demand on the charts. Now for this trade, it was my second or third. It was my third trade of the day, actually. I believe second. I'm sorry. But what I wanted to get out of this is the option contracts that I bought were pretty cheap on this position. Now they were around $35, I believe, when I got in, which is pretty cheap, obviously, compared to most of the option contracts that I trade. I was honestly just looking to take a light position on this option contract and really not risk much, especially since it was like my last trade of the day. Obviously, I was still confident in the trade. I still loved the setup. My position sizing was just different due to the fact that it was my last trade compared to my first trade. And obviously, it still ended up being a banger. The option contract that I bought at $35 ended up maxing around like $180. So it was absolutely insane. $35 option contract moving to $170, $180. So that's just a perfect example showing you guys that you don't need a shit ton of money to actually make money within these markets. You really just have to know what you're doing, control your risk, and understand where supply and demand is heaviest on the charts. But yeah, that's pretty much that. And then towards the end of the day, we really just had price was still moving, but it wasn't as volatile as it was earlier on in the day. I had alerted to the Discord. Let me show you guys. Alerted to the Discord. This was today. Alerted to the Discord, 130% a banger. And then I said the supply zone drawn out in pre-market went absolutely insane. I told you guys, I don't draw these zones for nothing, right? I'm not just drawing these zones for fun or for my pleasure, right? I'm drawing these zones because this is actually where we get the idea, not always, the perfect confirmation, but these zones are where we can get, like I said, get the idea of where supply is going to be heaviest or demand is going to be heaviest. That's obviously where we want to trade with, where we want to enter, where we want to exit. We don't want to be trading when volume is low. We don't want to be trading in areas where demand or supply isn't going to be inputted, because that's not going to move the market, right? That's when we see periods of consolidation, is when we don't see excessive buying pressure or excessive selling pressure. The market moves off of buy and sell orders. If there are no buyers and sellers in the market cannot move. So ultimately, if there are more buyers and sellers in the market's going to move stronger, right? So you guys get the idea. Very, very simple. You can obviously see at one point it was like 130%, and then price literally just continued ripping. This is when the trade hit like my full profit target. You guys can see price just ripped all the way from that supply zone. And then I alerted that those option contracts were over 300% at that point. I also alerted how I bought in right here at $35. They went to $150, which is absolutely insane. And then we hit 400% on those option contracts. So that's going to be that. And then that was the beautiful trade that we took this morning. I did also take some puts on SPY. I did take a small scalp this morning. I would like to, looks like I got rid of it, but I did take a small scalp on SPY puts this morning, ended up being about a 30% win. And then obviously the trade that I just broke down to you guys was really the play of the day, and also just a beautiful, beautiful trade, and also just beautiful analysis working out perfectly how I expected it to. Also, back to back 400% trading days. Like I showed you guys earlier, the trade that we took yesterday, which is pretty similar to this, we traded off of a supply zone as well. That trade ended up ripping for about 400% as well. And both trades were absolutely beautiful. And of course, both trades were caught using supply and demand. That's really all I trade with you guys. That's really all I look for. Go back on my YouTube channel years ago. I'm still talking about supply and demand. I'm still trading supply and demand. Nothing has changed other than the fact that I've gotten better with it. So that's going to be that. I'm going to go ahead and do some quick analysis going into tomorrow, kind of draw some zones so we have an idea on some key levels that we can utilize. I'll also check out some news. I actually don't think we have anything. I remember this morning during pre-market analysis, we actually went over news. Let me see if we have any yellow folders. Yeah, Friday we have absolutely nothing. So obviously Tuesday was really the main day, being Jerome Powell speaking. But going into tomorrow, going into Friday, we have no pre-market news. We have no open market news. So I look forward to tomorrow. Friday, obviously, always being volatile, and option contracts are, typically more cheaper as well. So look forward to catching some more opportunities as well tomorrow. Let me switch over back to the charts and look to catch, or not catch, look to draw out some levels before we end off the stream. So I'm going to switch to the 5-minute time frame. I do still like this supply zone that we traded off of today, so I'm going to keep that, because this supply zone was the second retracement and the second move down, because you guys can see that the supply, technically it was the third, but still I like how this is moving. Each time we've retraced into the supply, we've had a strong move and strong push down, indicating that's a really favorable area for those sellers to utilize. And you can obviously see the supply area was created right here. Strong push down, same thing, strong push down. So we're going to go ahead and have that marked out going into tomorrow. In terms of demand zones, it looks like this, I want to say, yeah, this is, I would mark this as invalidated, to be honest. And then let me see here. I do like this for demand. I'm going to draw it out. And I also see a huge support area or support level that was created right here. Also was created within post market. So I'm going to have that drawn out. I like how that looks. I'm on the 5-minute as well. So we'll switch over to the 1-minute as well shortly, so we can see if we can get any matches. Did this match as well? This would honestly be better if this can work out. Let me see here. Looks like it will. Yeah, I like that a lot better. I'm going to keep that. I'm going to keep this as well. Okay, perfect. Now switch over to the 1 minute, see if we can match any type of 1 minute zone inside of our 5 minute zone. Our 5 minute zone doesn't, it looks solid, but it looks like we got some slight invalidations today, which obviously isn't what we want to see, but I do see that the 1 minute zones that are being drawn out look very good. So I'm going to use these. I'm just going to draw it out. I'll have the 5 minute and the 1 minute zone. They're not going to be matching, but they're going to be very, very close to each other. So both can be pretty much used as a barrier. One can be used as an entry level. The other can be used as a stop loss. But I like this. I'm going to have both of these drawn out. If I switch over, we can probably get the match on the 5 minute. Yeah, that would make a lot more sense. Okay, yeah, I'm going to keep that zone. Let me switch back over to the 1 minute time frame. We already got the match for this supply zone as well. It is a bit far from where we're trading currently, but that's okay. We should have some areas of supply right here. Perfect. Boom. Right here. Okay, I like that more. Let's see if we can match it on the other time frame. Yeah, that looks perfect. I'll go ahead and I'll mark it out like that. Change the color. Okay, cool. We're getting some solid zones so far. Obviously, pre-market price is going to be different from where price is trading currently, but that's why tomorrow morning, pre-market 6 a.m. I will see you guys in the Discord, and we'll do some more updated, analysis. But that should wrap it up in terms of our SPY, supply, and demand. We got the match for this as well. Let's see. Yeah, the main thing that I want to look for is really just to see what happens and where we are tomorrow pre-market. So obviously only time can tell for that, and then obviously once we do get some pre-market price action, then we will be able to create some more accurate zones. Not that these zones aren't accurate. I honestly really like how we drew these out, and I honestly really like how they look. But I do want to make sure that the zones that we are drawing out are closest to where price is trading. That's one of the most important things, because you don't always want to have a bunch of supply and demand zones, but you want to have enough to the point where you have a zone that's near where price is currently trading already, because you don't want to have to wait for price to move like $3 to the up or to the downside for your zone to get hit. But this is going to be my supply zone. You guys can see was created right here. Then we got a retracement into this zone right here and got that strong push down. Keep in mind, I said strong push, indicating that those sellers were, active, and a large amount of them were active. So I'm going to go ahead and mark this out as just my 570 supply. And then I'll mark this demand area out. I like the lower demand just because the lower we can get, the more discounted, and that's pretty much what demand, tends to be or is. So I'm going to mark this out as 498.60 demand. Feel free to screenshot, feel free to do whatever you guys need to do. But that's going to be that. So there's my demand zone. Or there's one of my supply and demand zones going into tomorrow that I do like. You guys can obviously see the retracements that we have into these zones and what ultimately caused these zones to really be what they are, right? So that's going to be that, and that's pretty much going to wrap up the live stream. I hope you guys enjoyed that quick little recap that I was able to do on today's trade, and also kind of break down a little bit on yesterday's trade. Back-to-back 400% trading days, trading bangers, and also we did some slight analysis on the S&P going into tomorrow. We have our supply zone, demand zone, also our supply zone up here that presented the strongest moves all of this week. So I like that zone as well. But that's going to be that. That's going to wrap it up. I look forward to seeing all of you inside of pre-market review / live trading in the Discord. Other than that, family, much love. I wish you all the best. I wish you all blessings and good luck. And I will see you very, very soon. Have a good night, fam.